Hello, everyone, and welcome to the Azure All Stars, the show where we put the spotlight on on stars from the community and the work they do in the hopes of inspiring others to follow. I'm Amit.
And I'm Luke, and we're your
And
hosts for this podcast.
and we are your host for this podcast. With us today, our guest Indira Bandari. I hope that I'm pronouncing your name correctly. And we'll just talk a little bit about her life and the work that she does, all the mentoring, the volunteering, and yeah. So let's first start a little bit about what is in the news, and then we'll jump back again to discuss and talk with Indira. So I think recently we've seen a lot, Luke, in the about the Azure OpenAI, the Azure OpenAI, what we call it, like partnership, and then all the services that is now provided by Microsoft Azure AI. And have seen recently that you've made a really good, beautiful, actually, blog post talking to people how to do. Can you tell us a bit about it?
Yeah, so sure. So, as with everyone, I guess just the whole AI thing has taken the world by storm, and I wanted to have a play. So, what I was using was if you take ChatGPT and then the GPT 3.5 and 4 models, they're only trained up to September 2021. But what I wanted to do was ask it stuff that was a bit more relevant. So I took a scenario of asking about Azure Elastic SAN, which is a public preview Azure SAN service, so storage area network service, and asked it about that. And obviously, because it's public preview, all the public documentation has come out end of last year, early this year. ChatGPT doesn't know about it. So what I did is I took the whole Azure Docs repository, which is just a bunch of markdown files in the GitHub repo, and I shoved it into an Azure storage account.
Okay.
And then ran a cognitive index across it, and then used that to add on top of Azure OpenAI. So the blog that I did was more about how I did it and my experiences in doing it. It was a lot of fun. It was a lot.
That's actually super cool. Wow, I never thought that you could actually just download the whole Azure documentation. And like we all have been yesterday in a meetup where one of our friends, Daniel, have actually showed us how to do that. That is actually super cool. Wow, that is really cool. And I know, Indira, that you actually are doing something super exciting on top of Azure AI. Can you tell us a little bit about it before we jump into your career?
Yeah, so what I have done is created a sort of a demo similar to what Luke has done. We can actually either target PDF documents or Word documents or even text documents, add your own data to Azure OpenAI for it to be searchable. So we just made a prototype which is enterprise grade, so that it can be sort of lift and shift and then go into their Azure subscription on a separate landing zone, everything fully secure. So that's the pilot use case that we have done. So
is it sort of similar to like a chat like a chatbot like a chat GPT like bot, but for your actual enterprise data, but you're actually doing some of the magic behind the scene. It's not just the data, so it's not it is similar in concept to what the Azure AI is doing now, but you guys have doing a lot more work behind the scene using Power BI. And is that right?
No, not so much Power BI. So what the same steps as Daniel showed us yesterday. So we need to create the Azure Cognitive Search Index. I think a couple of months ago we had to use for reading the PDFs, we had to use the form Recognizer, I think,
Mm-hmm.
which Luke has used, because it was, I think, 3 months ago.
Okay.
But the latest developments in the Azure Cognitive Search, which includes the vector search and semantic search, now we don't need to use any of the form recognizer capabilities. We just need, it's all embedded into the cognitive search. We just need
Mm-hmm.
to define a skill set and also the indexer into cognitive search, and then we can use that for us to create a bot-like experience. And then
Nice.
on top of that, we can either use LangChain or Streamlit application to create a more appealing web app sort of thing. And then we can,
Wow.
yeah,
Wow. That sounds really interesting. That actually entitled
yeah,
a whole episode of this just talking about that. That
But
is just
yes,
there's a famous saying now, isn't it? Is English is the world's, best, or the world's programming language, and
oh
it's just,
yes.
how you interface with
yeah,
everything is just
mm,
changing. And
yeah,
and
Yes.
and like you said, Indira, it's like a couple of months ago, form recognizer, or even having to chunk the documents into
yes,
separate parts to be able
was
to
not available. Yeah,
talk to it. And
mm,
now, a
mm.
month or two later, that functionality is there. So give another couple of months, and
Yeah,
yeah.
Wow.
I think semantic and everything will be in public preview probably. Yeah.
Yeah, it's just awesome. It's just amazing what you are doing. Congrats on your new product launch and good luck, guys. All
Thank
right.
you.
So let's do this. Let's start with our guests and back to you, Luke.
Yeah, thanks. I just wanted to quickly, before we do that, I just
Okay.
wanted to quickly state that obviously Microsoft Azure AD is now Microsoft Entra
Intra.
ID.
Yes.
So
Yes.
that's going to take a couple of
That's
months,
it is
if not
funny
longer, for
that
me to start
it's
changing.
funny that even
Yeah, my
the CEO of Microsoft in Microsoft Inspire, he was saying Microsoft Azure AD, and I was like, yeah, that's funny. Yeah, that's right.
Yeah, but I looked up the dictionary definition of Entra,
Yeah.
and it came back with entree, which is, a
oh,
dish
the
served
entree.
before.
Oh,
So it's a French word, but one of the meanings was,
I know.
a dish served in formal dining, or, which I think is where the enter part comes in, is the act of entering, or the power, permission, or liberty to enter, admit. So
Ah,
yeah, enter is kind of based on entree, which is
wow.
French. It was
Wow.
weird, but I guess it makes
Makes so much
sense.
sense now. Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Yeah,
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 yeah.
yeah.
I was thinking why Entra, so I think your answer makes it more more
Wow. Super
meaningful
cool,
now.
man. Super cool.
Yeah. So let's get into this.
Yep.
So Indira, could you share a bit about your background? How did you first get into the world of technology?
Okay, so I was born and brought up in India. I'll start from there. So those days, this is I think 30 years ago maybe. Those days in India, there is a concept of uh, kids do study either medicine or engineering.
Mhm.
So my dad wanted me to do medicine, and we are
Okay.
two siblings. My brother, he wanted my brother to do engineering. So like unlike these days, I don't know, in New Zealand it is like you can choose any subjects.
Yep.
Unlike that scenario, we had three streams. One is the BIPC, which is the biology, physics, and chemistry, that will get you into medicine,
Ah,
and
Okay.
MPC, maths, physics, and chemistry, that will get you into engineering. So there is no
mhm.
maths concept, but I used to love maths.
Okay.
So then, because to satisfy my dad, okay, let me try. So I tried. Those days there were not many medicine seats. You have to be in the top 500
Mm,
out of I think 4 or 5 lakh students who write an entrance test.
Wow.
I was in the top 1,000, not top 500. So then I ended up, then if you miss medicine, then you get dental, veterinary science, agriculture, horticulture science. So I ended up in agriculture science. So 4 years fast forward my life, I was thinking, how do we get back to maths? So
Yeah, yeah.
so what I did
Beautiful.
was
Beautiful.
there was a statistics subject. Okay, let's take statistics. So I did my agriculture statistics, won a gold medal, couple of gold medals there,
Wow.
and
Wow.
then
Good on you.
first took up a job as a statistical analyst,
Nice.
and yeah, went to that same company. Actually, started a medical transcription company,
Mhm.
and that was when I got interested in into computers. So
Mhm.
I took a PG diploma where again I got a scholarship, so I didn't have to pay anything.
Wow.
So 1 year
Yeah.
Good on you.
PGDCA, and then naturally, because that same company was starting the the new a new medical transcription company, I was involved in the everything, setting up the computers, hardware, software, everything that is needed
Good on you.
to set up the company. So of course I had some help as well, which I think interested me more. And then yeah, we developed some products for that company, and then I stayed there about I think 6 years, and then got married, went to General Electric,
Oh,
and
yes.
then
Oh,
yeah, for 18 months I was
Yeah.
part of the General Electric Center of Excellence, Analytics Center of Excellence, which was in India
nice.
before coming to New Zealand. So, and then in New Zealand, I started my career mostly on Microsoft stack, and also there is those days there used to be a CRM called Pivotal CRM,
Mm-hmm.
which using which we can customize to nth degree. So I was
Okay.
involved in the customization, worked in one particular company for 11 years. Again, it's a small company. I really enjoyed working with the small company because you know what you're doing, how you are influencing your customers, so-called internal stakeholders, and whether they are using the product, whether they are liking it, or
Mm,
what are the improvements that you can make. So I enjoyed all that.
good on you.
Then this company merged into another company, so then
Mm.
I thought, okay, let me venture out.
Yeah.
So that's where
Reevaluate where you are, and
yeah,
yeah.
I used to like business intelligence a lot, so I applied for a BI specialist role in BNZ and got into it.
Nice.
But within 3 months, I didn't like the job. So I told my manager within 3 months, something is lacking. I'm not having the job satisfaction here because
Yeah.
they work in silos. So, okay, then I had my little one there, second little one. So, and even before I completed my maternity leave, I was headhunted to Fusion 5,
Nice.
was there for a couple of years, and then went into a 4 year tenure in a healthcare product company, and then Datacom,
Awesome.
where now Luke works.
It's a small
Yeah,
world, isn't it? Yeah.
yes, I enjoyed my variety of work in Datacom, and then now I'm in Data Engine, which is a startup slowly growing, and I'm loving the work with that I'm doing in Data Engine so far. It's only 1 month, but I'm really loving it.
Oh,
So
That,
that's
that's
good.
my
that's just an
journey.
awesome. Thank you so much. That's just an awesome story. Like I really love how your love for math actually led you all the way to computer and to the technology world, and how you never how you never gave up on your passion. You still worked for it. You still and you've done like an amazing job getting all those scholarship, all those awards. So apparently like you are built for this. So good on you. That's
And
just
you're an
awesome.
MVP who's recently been
Oh yeah,
renewed. So
Yes,
congratulations.
thank
Yeah.
you.
yes, yeah, yeah, yeah. So I actually, the other thing that's really interested me when I was preparing for this episode is that I see that you do a lot of volunteering work. You help a lot of children and teaching them game development. I think one of some of your students had actually achieved an award of in the JHack. Is that right? JHack development
Yes, JHack
competition.
development. Yes.
And yeah, so can you tell us a little bit about your involvement in that, and then a little bit about why is it that you wanted to do that?
Yeah, okay. So after coming to New Zealand, I have a passion to teach kids from childhood. So I used to
Nice.
teach the what do you call underprivileged when I was
Mm-hmm.
when I was in India.
Good on you.
So after even after coming to New Zealand, I was part of this Sunday school for kids where we
Nice.
used to have access to about 60 to 70 kids of all ages.
Mhm.
So once it so happened that in 2016 there was this JHack game development competition announced, and they wanted some mentors. So knowing me, I would sign up for mentor everywhere. So I just
Good on
signed
you.
up for, and this is for high school kids. So
Nice.
one day, what happened was the all the mentors had to get some training on the software that the kids are going to use. It
Mm-hmm.
was just a 2 hour training, and it was pouring like this, like how it is pouring today when when I was coming back. And then I was thinking, I was so inspired with the with what the software can do. And then why not teach these kids? Let me, because I'm only single person teaching, let me just teach just for 10 kids, just
Okay.
limit for 10 kids. And then so let I spoke to the person who can who sees the worth in these. So she said that okay, let's try and do that. So this happened on Saturday, and I started the class on Monday with bring your own laptop sort of thing. Those days it was not online. Online was not that much, so we just gathered in a temple library with
Ah,
with 10 students, and we had a board, and I don't think
nice.
we even had the projector to do that.
Wow.
Everybody had the laptops, and I really enjoyed the way kids took the this thing and then reacted to it. They came up with different sort of game ideas. So then I thought, okay,
Wow.
let's. I just mentioned to the organizers of JHacks saying that I'm training, I'm teaching these kids. So I didn't even have the idea that they could participate in, because these are all primary school kids, like 9 to 12-year-old,
Mm.
and so I thought, okay, let me just mention. So I just mentioned, and then the project manager said, why not they submit the, because they had 6 weeks to create the game and submit it. So they asked us to submit. So we submitted 9 games, 8 individual and one group game.
Mm-hmm.
So so that means every kid has submitted one game,
And then, yeah.
and then we just submit, and the deadline was, I think, we submitted all games just 2 hours before the deadline, in short. And
Nice.
then we forgot. So then I think 2 weeks they took, and then they organized a whole day of activities for all those who participated. And midday, they organized some speakers to the with the to speak to the kids, just as inspirational speeches and games and things like that. And midday, the finalist top 5 got announced, and two of the kids that who have participated have been selected. I thought, okay, this is enough. At least they got in. Somebody got in.
Good on
um,
you.
and then uh, so the top 5 kids who were selected have to had to present. So when you should see the way they presented, they made up stories, man. Oh my god.
That's so fun.
It sounds like generative AI.
They made up stories, like they just made they one of them made a platform game and the other one made a shooting game, but they made up stories, I think the criteria was 60% fun. So maybe
Oh,
that is the reason they got selected in the top 3. So
nice.
they got second and third prizes, which was so
Nice.
inspiring. Then I thought, okay, let's chuck that game development part now. Let's start teaching them some SQL and Power BI.
Good on
Yeah,
you.
so
Good on
from
you.
the next year onwards, that's what I have started, and then I have been running Power BI uh, uh, report competitions, dashboard competitions, and where Reza and Laila were the judges, and then yeah, I
Ah,
need to revive that. Yeah.
nice, nice. That's what I actually love about being part of this the technology community in general, is that your work touches the lives of a lot of people. And this is a great example what you just talked about. It's really beautiful. You have actually took it to the next level. It's beautiful to have to give those kids that passion and that actually it's a tool and a skill set to help them in life. It doesn't matter if they end up doing something with that
Something
skill.
else, yes.
Exactly. It is beautiful to help them like learn that skill of using logic, thinking about how to solve a problem. It is just beautiful. So good on you.
Thank you.
Do you keep in touch with some of those kids, or
Yes,
Oh
yes.
yeah, this is very
Some of
curious.
those, yeah,
Exactly.
some
yeah?
of those kids have taken technology, like
Nice.
have done the first batch. I think from the first batch, I think two people are doing computer science, engineering, computer science. So which is really good. Yeah,
Nice.
That's
they are in the engineering. Yeah, they are in the uni now. I think,
Wow.
yeah, final stage of uni. Yeah.
that's awesome.
That's just awesome. Good on you.
So, as a director of KidsTech, can you tell us more about what KidsTech is as an organization and what you do within it?
Yeah.
Okay, so during Corona days, actually, it is not my idea of doing a charitable organization. It's my
Mm.
husband's idea. So
Oh
Nice.
yeah.
he did all the groundwork, and then we just floated an organization called KidsTech Charitable Trust. And then whatever activities that I'm doing, like mainly training the kids as well as adults
Mm.
I do under that banner now, but yeah, I have to maybe develop more because I don't ask for funding or anything like that. Maybe
Mm.
that could be the next step. Yeah, I
Yeah.
need to concentrate more on that. Yeah, no time
Good
for
on you.
that.
Good on you. Good on you.
That's awesome.
It's just awesome. I know that you've recently renewed actually the your Microsoft MVP. And can you tell us about a little bit about that and what work do you do? And yeah,
So when I did this 2016 game development, simultaneously I started getting involved in the community because I was mainly a BI specialist. So
mm,
I was getting more attending the meetups at that stage, and also started speaking as well. Those days they used to be SQL Saturdays, and also helped in organizing of the Power BI meetup
nice.
at that stage. So and then Laila and Reza said, why not you also be a co-organizer for this? And then I think
Mm,
they must have um, nominated me for Microsoft MVP. So that's how I got it. Yeah, it's
very well deserved. Good
now
on
it's
you.
yeah. I can't even imagine that it's 5 years already passed.
Good on you. Good on you. That's just awesome. Yeah. Cool.
Now,
Yeah.
oh,
Sorry,
sorry.
mate.
Do
Go
you
ahead.
want to?
No, no, mate. Go ahead. Yeah, yeah.
I think mentor is a huge topic here. Like
Yes.
being a mentor of someone, some people, bringing them along the journey. Just yeah, it's the passion is clear to show and the
Yes.
ability. So you've been honored as a master mentor by the Multi Cloud for You community and academy. Could you tell us more about your contributions to the community, a bit more about the mentoring work and how your expertise in data and analytics benefits the multi-cloud for you community?
Yeah, okay. So that Master Mentor Award by the Multi Cloud for You, that I think is mainly for the contributions that I've done to the community, as well as I have presented a few sessions for Multi Cloud
Ah,
for you, and I think they have a lot of people who attend
Mm,
these presentations, and also they approached me after the event as well, and some wanted a change of career, those kind of things. So I was just guiding them as to what needs to be done and things like that. So
nice. Good
that
on
was
you.
the yeah. And
That's
yeah, some of the I get a lot of LinkedIn contacts asking me what do I need to do, and yeah, I don't keep quiet even if I find somebody in any event, because I I present a lot in Unitech and
Yep.
University of Auckland and universities like that. So some of the students approach me and then say, what do I need to do to get that? What do I need to do? So I just mentor them, and then sometimes sometimes just friends who want change of career,
Nice.
I make sure that I give them the what they need, and yeah, and sometimes organize mock interviews and also interview
Oh, wow.
questions, yeah, those kind
Wow.
I
of
like
things.
that. Yeah.
Man,
Yeah.
Yeah,
that's
mock
awesome.
interviews. And also, yeah, one person, she struggled for 3 years, but now she's in a very good position. So
Good on you. Good on you. That's
when you look
actually
back.
That's actually why why me and Luke actually thought about this idea of this podcast, is that we see a lot of what we call stars, a lot of people in the community that actually help a lot. And then in the same time, you hear a lot of people come and ask, like, what do I do? Where do I start? And they struggle to actually jump into the world of technology and into the world of Azure in specific. And that's why we want to have those interviews, because we put the spotlight on those heroes because we think that they deserve it. But in the same time, it's like a beacon to tell people, you could ask this person and he knows what he's talking about, whatever their skills and expertise. And that's what we hope, that we'll interview as much people. And in the end, if whatever your interest is, you could find someone who's actually already done this and he's an expert. So thank you for jumping in on this one. That is super cool. The the other thing is that I see that you also you talked about the Power BI meetup that you run. You also run an artificial intelligence
Yeah,
Auckland Artificial Intelligence Meetup.
yeah.
Can you tell us a little bit about your work there?
Yeah, these days it's a bit dormant. We have to renew that. But yeah, we used to organize AI speakers. So there is a global AI community, which community events as well we organized. Once I think we went to Wellington as well to do the event,
Mm-hmm.
and I think this was maybe the lockdown just lifted or something like that. We were, I think, 5 or 6 people in the room, and we were being streamed in the stream yard, and one by one, so we had to keep our mouth shut because we are in in the room. And it was really good experience working with the Wellington people as well. And we organized mostly speakers from Microsoft, or either Laila or I could speak, and then we had hands-on hands-on workshops as well, um,
Nice.
yeah, during the meetup. So yeah.
I'm just gonna give you ask you a follow-up question. Like like AI used to, before ChatGPT, AI used to mean something, and now it means something else.
Oh, it's made
Uh,
something else. Yeah.
it's I know the world of AI is much bigger than generative AI and large language model. Is your work in AI in general, or are you like, do you do generative AI, or is it you work
Okay,
in,
so,
there's like computer vision, there's so much like now
okay,
they're talking
so
about, yeah.
the meetups that we used to organize, uh, we used to what my content was mainly. I just want people to sometimes if you want to start a new technology, you have that barrier, right? How do so my ones are mostly getting started with computer vision, or getting
Mm,
started with Azure machine learning, because for
mm,
initially I started off with the machine learning designer, the
mm,
studio. So, and then later on Azure machine learning. So those starting things, so that once they know how to start, then they can do their own research and then get ahead. So that
nice.
kind of stuff. Yeah, that's
Uh,
the.
uh, uh, yeah. I think that's good because a lot of the time, like even as we referred to earlier, with me playing around with cognitive
Mm,
search
mm.
and things like that, it's just knowing how to start
How
is
to start? Yes.
you know,
Mm.
it's, if you'd said to me a year ago, if could I do this, I would have said no. Obviously a lot's changed that's
Yes.
enabled even me to be able to do
Mm,
that
mm,
thing, but
mm.
it's, yeah, just being able to start is key. And
Yeah,
Yes.
awesome, awesome. Thank you. Thank you. Yeah, I think we are almost at the end of our interview here. And we were planning to ask you about what is exciting and new technology, and I think we've already covered a lot of new technology and exciting news. I think the last thing is that if someone wants to reach out to you, or if someone wants a word of wisdom, or like an advice, what would they do? Like, what is the best way to actually contact
Reach
you
out.
or get in touch?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah, I think LinkedIn is the way to contact me. So because
nice.
yeah, I'll more than my email, I think I'll be on LinkedIn because my email is flooded with thousands of unread emails. So it's hard. So yeah, so
Copilot is
Indira
gonna help
hyphen
us.
Bandari is the email.
That's awesome. Sorry, I just said that Copilot's gonna do that for us. It's just gonna go read the emails for us and come back, and this is interesting.
Yeah.
Awesome.
Yes,
Cool.
summarize all the emails into 5 bullet points. Yeah, yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah, I
Just
don't even
summarize it.
want all the emails only from these.
I know. Most of the emails are just like, yeah, unfortunately. A lot of it is
Yeah,
just,
being an MVP, I think we have a because we
oh yeah.
subscribe to everything else. So so those are the yeah extra
That's
Yeah,
emails that we have.
I don't know if it's like you, but it's the first thing in the morning. I wake up and I grab my phone and I'm like, archive,
Read.
delete,
Yes.
read, archive, delete, read. Yeah,
Yeah. And
yeah.
if I didn't have time for a couple of days, that's it, 400.
Because most of the chat happens when we're asleep because of the time
Yes.
I
zones.
Time
know.
zone. Yes.
It's
So
so
there's
funny.
nothing during the workday, which is
Yes.
great. But then you
Yes.
wake up and yeah, there's tons. Yeah,
Yes, that's right. That's right.
it's a
Actually,
blessing and a curse.
I'm a big believer of what they call inbox zero. What I do is that I
Mm.
always, that you mentioned archive, I always archive an email if I have nothing else to do with it. So like if there is an action and I've done the action, if there is an information, I read it and all of that. So I archive it. I almost use my inbox almost like a to-do. Like if I know there's an email in the inbox, there is a reason that's there, and it keep bugging me. So I keep on clicking on it. And why is this not archived yet? So,
I
That's a
think
like you
great
said,
idea.
there's like do it, dump it, delegate it. Yeah, there's a program I did a while ago called the Personal Efficiency course, and it's all
nice,
about bulking and doing your weekly wrap and just trying to touch everything once. So
nice.
instead of checking the emails every single time and every
Okay.
minute,
Yeah.
you check it during certain times and
Makes
you
sense.
interrupt one person once and then cover off a bunch of things. Yeah,
Nice, nice.
it's tricky.
Um, we actually enjoyed your story so much, Indira. Thank you
Thank you.
so much for jumping
Thank
in
you.
and being our guest. Your story is really inspiring and motivating, and you are like what I found that you are very like a resourceful and a problem-solving person, and then at the same time you've got this mentorship mindset, and then you're always trying to help people. This is really beautiful. That's the amazing combination to have as a person in the community, and that's why I really think that the MVP is a well-deserved award for you. Good on you. And
Thank you.
it's not just MVP. Like literally, I've scrolled through your LinkedIn. So many. Like you were the top 33%
3%
on
of sessionized. Yeah.
Sessionize on 2022. You run so many meetup. You are an MVP. You've got a lot of volunteering doing. It's just amazing, and we are really fortunate to have you on our podcast. So thank you so much for jumping in. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you.
Thank you. Yeah. Thank you for the
So,
opportunity.
all right, and again, like every end of an episode, this is a shout out for anybody if we want to jump in and come to be our guest. We'd love to have you, and yeah, that's cool. Sweet.
Yeah, thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, guys.
See you.
Cheers.
Bye.